All right, let's talk about mountains. Usually, the story is all about getting to the top, right? Planting a flag, conquering the peak. Well, this story is different. This is about a journey around a mountain so sacred, nobody has ever even tried to climb it. We're talking about Mount Kailash.
I love this quote. It hits the nail on the head. Kailash isn't a challenge to be beaten. It's something you admire, you walk around with humility, with reverence. And that's really the big idea we're diving into today, this idea of reverence over conquest.
So, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll tackle the big question: why has no one ever climbed it? Then, we'll get into the sacred walk itself, the Kora. We'll look at why it's so important to 4 different faiths, walk through the 3-day journey, and wrap up with a practical guide for anyone thinking about making this pilgrimage themselves.
Okay, so first up, the unconquered mountain. Think about it. We've climbed Everest, we've been to the bottom of the ocean, so why has this mountain, which is way shorter than Everest, never been summited? What's going on here?
Well, for millions of people, Kailash isn't just a mountain. It's what's known as the axis mundi. That's a fancy term, but think of it like the cosmic center of the world, the literal spot where heaven and earth connect. It's not just rock and ice, it's a spiritual pillar, and that belief is everything.
And here's the thing that really gets me. It's only 6,638 meters tall. I mean, that's incredibly high, but it's more than 2,000 meters shorter than Everest. So this clearly isn't about the physical challenge. Its importance, its power, isn't measured in meters. It's measured in something else entirely.
So why is it untouched? Well, there are a few layers to this. First off, there are just no credible records of anyone ever making it to the top. Even legendary climbers have tried and been forced to turn back. Then, in 2001, the Chinese government officially banned climbing. But honestly, the biggest reason isn't a law. It's a deep, shared, spiritual belief that you just don't. You don't conquer this place. You honor it.
So if you can't climb it, what do? How do you show your reverence? Simple. You walk around it. This incredible act of devotion is called the Kora, and it's a 52-kilometer journey that circles the entire base of the mountain.
The word itself is Kora in Tibetan, or Parikrama in Sanskrit, but the idea is exactly the same. It's the act of circling a holy site. It's all about the journey, you know? Every single step is an act of devotion. It's not about getting to some finish line.
But get this, there isn't just one path. There are 2. The one on the left, the outer Kora, that's the standard pilgrimage. It's 52 kilometers over 3 days. It's tough, but doable. But then there's the inner Kora. It's shorter, but way, way harder. Super steep, super high. And you can't just decide to do it. You have to earn the right, spiritually, by completing the outer Kora a whopping 13 times first. Now, speaking of spiritual merit, timing is a huge deal here, and something really special is coming up in 2026. According to the Tibetan calendar, it's the year of the fire horse. This is a rare celestial alignment that, believe it or not, is said to supercharge the spiritual power of the Kora. Okay, so to really get why this is so huge, you need some context. In a normal year, completing the Kora 13 times is a massive spiritual achievement. I mean, for many people, it's a lifetime goal. It's believed to wipe away a lifetime's worth of bad karma. Now get ready for this. During the year of the fire horse, doing the Kora just one time is believed to give you the same spiritual benefit as doing it 13 times. All that merit packed into one 3-day journey. This only happens once every 60 years. So yeah, 2026 is a very, very big deal.
So where does all this spiritual power come from? What makes this one mountain so important? Well, it's because it's this incredible spiritual crossroads. It's a single point on the map where 4 major world faiths come together.
And what's amazing is the harmony. It's not one religion's mountain. It's a shared sacred space for Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, and followers of the ancient Bon religion.
And each faith sees it in a slightly different but equally powerful way. For Hindus, it's the actual home of Lord Shiva. For Buddhists, it's the palace of a deity called Demshuk, who represents supreme bliss. For Jains, it's the sacred place where their first great teacher achieved enlightenment. And for the Bon faith, it's the literal seat of all spiritual power in the world. So you have 4 different stories, all pointing to this one peak.
Okay, so we get the why. Now let's get into the how. We're going to walk through the 3-day outer Kora, a journey that's not just a hike, but a complete spiritual transformation.
The whole thing breaks down into 3 distinct stages. Day 1 is all about the approach, seeing the mountain for the first time. Day 2 is the big challenge, a symbolic death and rebirth. And Day 3 is the peaceful return and reflection.
So the journey starts at a place called Yamdwar, which translates to the gate of death. Sounds intense, right? But it's not about literal death. It's about letting your ego die. You walk through that gate, and you're supposed to leave your old self behind. The first day's trek is actually pretty gentle, a nice flat walk that builds anticipation, until you get that first, breathtaking view of Kailash's north face.
Day 2. Day 2 is the test. It is, without a doubt, the hardest part of the journey. It's this long, steep, grueling climb up to the highest point, the Domala Pass. And every physical step you take is meant to be a spiritual struggle too. The idea is that as you climb, you're shedding all your negative karma, leaving it behind on the mountain.
And just to give you an idea of how tough this is, the pass is at 5,630 meters. That's almost 18,500 feet. That is higher than any mountain in Europe or the continental US. The air is razor thin up there. Just breathing is hard work. So reaching the top isn't just about finishing a climb, it's this huge moment of release and rebirth. After the intensity of Day 2, the final day is a peaceful descent. The hard part's over. You're walking along a river, the scenery's beautiful, and it's really a time for quiet reflection. The 52-kilometer circuit is done, but for the pilgrim, that inner journey, that transformation, that's just getting started.
Okay, so this whole thing can sound really out there, almost mystical. But people do this every year. It's a real achievable journey. So for this last part, let's switch gears from the spiritual to the super practical. If you wanted to do this, how would you even begin to prepare?
It really comes down to 4 key areas. First, fitness. You've got to be in shape. Start training with cardio and strength at least 3 months out. Second, mental prep. The altitude is no joke, so practicing mindfulness, meditation, breathing exercises, that's crucial. Third, your gear. Pack smart. Think layers, broken-in boots, and be eco-friendly. And finally, the paperwork. Your journey will most likely start in Nepal, but you absolutely need a Chinese group visa and a special Tibet travel permit, which you pretty much always have to get through an approved tour company. So when you boil it all down, the Kora is a journey of letting go. It's a physical act that mirrors a deep, internal process of shedding your old baggage to make room for something new. And that kind of leaves us with one final question to think about. If you made it to that pass, 5,630 meters up at the top of the world, what would you choose to leave behind?